Good morning. My name is Dr. Melanizer, and I'm going to be going over displacement and speed with you. Our learning goals for today are to explain distance, speed, and time in the simplest possible terms, and to explore some basic concepts of physics through this. You will succeed if you can do a simple speed and distance problem and explain what speed and distance are. You've probably seen this sign if you live in America. Now, what that means is 80 miles an hour. The number 80 represents the integral value, and it's implied to mean miles per hour. If you drive 80 miles an hour, you're going to be able to know how far you've gone based upon the distance. If you're traveling 80 miles an hour, in 1 hour, you'll travel 80 miles. Let's look at another problem. If you're driving at 75 miles an hour along a highway near here, I-35, and how far have you traveled in 1 hour? 75 miles. The reason it's 75 miles is because that's our unit of speed for time. 75 miles an hour means in 1 hour, you will travel for 75 miles. How about 2 hours? 75 times 2. 75 miles an hour for 2 hours means you'll have traveled 150 miles. That's the meaning of 75 miles an hour. In half an hour, you'll travel 37.5 miles, which is 75 divided by 2. How about 75 miles an hour for 3 hours? That's 225 miles an hour, or 225 miles. Speed is an expression of how quickly you travel a distance. Now, miles per hour works in America, but most of the world uses the metric system, and in science, we're going to be teaching you in meters. Speed is an expression of how quickly you can cover a distance. It's usually expressed in meters per second. Now, we created this triangle as a very simple way of doing math. D represents distance, T represents time, and S represents speed. For example, if we cover 6 meters in 2 seconds, 6 meters of distance in 2 seconds, that will give us a speed of 3 meters per second. This triangle gives us a very quick and easy method to find an unknown value. All it requires you to do is to draw the triangle on a piece of paper or a drawing program if you're doing this purely online, and to write on top D and on the bottom S and T. Only thing you have to remember is to draw the triangle, split into 3 parts, and the D is always on top. Now, when you're looking at the triangle, you're always going to be given 2 parts of this triangle. In order to find the missing part, look at what you have as your 2 knowns. If you have the 2 parts at the bottom, speed and time, you multiply them together. However, if you have distance and something else, to find the value, you divide. That's it. If they're side by side, multiply, otherwise divide. If our speed is 40 meters in 5 seconds, drawing the triangle, my distance on top, speed, and time. If my object travels 40 meters, that's my distance. In 5 seconds of time, I can build my triangle. On top, I put 40 meters. And on the bottom, I put speed, which is my unknown, and 5 seconds of time. Now I look at my triangle. Hey, I've got something on the top and something on the bottom, and my speed is unknown. We don't have 2 nodes at the bottom, so we have to divide. 40 is divided by 5. What is 40 divided by 5? 8, which gives us our speed of 8 meters a second. That's all there is to doing this math. Let's try another one. If you're driving 20 meters per second, how far will you go in 5 minutes or 300 seconds? Let's start by drawing our triangle. I have a speed of 20 meters per second, and I have a time of 300 seconds. I don't know what the distance is. Okay, I know if I have both of my numbers, my knowns on the bottom, I just multiply them together. So I multiply 20 times 300. That means I'll take the 2 and multiply it by the 3, get 6, and I count 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3 zeros, and I have my answer. 6,000 meters. That's it. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's do another one together. What is the distance traveled if a car is traveling 30 meters a second for 5 seconds? I'm going to start by drawing you a triangle. And I'm going to put distance, speed, and time. I'll give you a few seconds to do this. Okay, let's look at what we have. We have meters per second, which is speed, and we have 5 seconds, which is time. My speed is 30. My time is 5 seconds. Now I know if they're next to each other, I multiply. So I have 30 times 5 seconds gives me a distance of 150 meters, which is the correct answer. All right, let's do one last one together. What is the distance traveled if a boat is traveling 6 meters a second for 2 minutes? That's 120 seconds. Okay. Start by drawing our triangle. D on top. And we identify our knowns, time, and speed. Now speed is easy. That's 6 meters a second. Unfortunately, that's in minutes and that's in seconds, so we have to do a little conversion. Every minute is 60 seconds, so we're just going to multiply 2 times 60, so that's 120 seconds. Plug that in there. Now our 120 seconds match with our 6 seconds, or with our 6 meters a second. The seconds will cancel. We multiply them together and we will get 720 meters of distance. All right. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, please use these email addresses. We'll be happy to answer it. Thank you very much for your time.